Hey, Tim Frisch with A Frisch Perspective here. I saw on Twitter that Dr. James White posted this tweet here. It says, every other faithful church in Alberta needs to open up tomorrow and offer GraceLife space to meet for worship. And I was wondering what this is referring to. He's saying that other churches need to offer GraceLife, a church in Edmonton or near Edmonton in Alberta. They need to offer that church space to meet. And so I looked it up and saw this news here, so I wanted to share it with all of you. It's certainly something I think a lot of us want to know about and want to be praying about. Before I look at this article, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you would like more analysis, reviews, and fun from a Christian nerd's point of view. But this article here says GraceLife Church shuttered by authorities after months of flouting COVID-19 rules. I've talked about the situation with Pastor James Coates, the pastor of this church. He was in prison for about a month, I think, because of the stance that he took in regard to COVID-19 in his church. And ultimately, he was released, but now we're seeing that the church is being closed. The church building is being closed, that is. It says here, the police and security are on site at GraceLife Church, where steel fencing has now been erected around the site that's been host to services for months that have breached COVID-19 public health orders. So looking at the picture here, it looks like this is the steel fencing that's being referred to. And the title of the picture says, a fence has gone up around GraceLife Church, and security is on scene to keep church members away on Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, which is the date that I'm recording this video. The article says the Wednesday morning move to shutter the church on the western edge of Edmonton follows several packed Easter weekend services in violation of a closure order issued in January for previously flouting COVID-19 restrictions. Fencing was erected around the entire perimeter of the church after a convoy of about a dozen RCMP vehicles first arrived around 6 a.m. Wednesday. Police are there to assist Alberta Health Services, AHS, with the closure. RCMP and security vehicles at 9 a.m. Wednesday still had the driveway leading to the church blocked off with vehicles. About a dozen people who appeared to be supporters of the church gathered across the road as the fencing was completed. Just before 9 a.m. Wednesday, AHS issued a statement announcing it has physically closed GraceLife Church and has prevented access to the building until GLC can demonstrate the ability to comply with Alberta's Chief Medical Officer of Health's restrictions. Closing the church down comes on the heels of Premier Jackson Kenney's Tuesday announcement that Alberta is reverting back to step one of its public health restriction framework in order to curb the growing spread of COVID-19 and its variants. The only responsible choice to save lives and to protect our healthcare system is to take action, Kenney said. Churches are still allowed to be open under the current COVID-19 restrictions, but must limit capacity to 15%, require mandatory masking and physical distancing between households. GraceLife has been found in violation of these restrictions every Sunday since the closure order from AHS came into effect. RCMP were on site, and AHS Environmental Public Health Inspector visited GraceLife Church for both the Good Friday and Easter Sunday services. GraceLife Church Pastor James Coates led the Sunday service for the third time since his release from jail March 22nd, after he was charged twice for violating the Public Health Act. One of those charges has since been dropped, and a second will be taken to trial in May. Coates also received a $1,500 fine for violating bail conditions, which was paid through time served. The church has been charged as an entity, which is also scheduled to go to trial in May. The church has had COVID-19 cases in the past, but Alberta Health declined to say how many cases were connected to the church or if anyone had died. A statement on the church's website said there were 2 cases last July. In its statement issued Wednesday, AHS said it has attempted to work collaboratively with GLC to address the ongoing public health concerns at the site. It then lists steps taken prior to the closure. So I'm not going to read the entire article, but I will leave a link to this article in the video description so that you can read it in its entirety. I know people are going to have strong reactions to this situation. I've seen really strong feelings on both sides of issues like this. Actually, someone just commented on one of my other videos speaking very harshly against Pastor James Coates. Other people are very strongly in favor of Pastor James Coates in the position that he's taking. But it is sad to see a situation escalate like this and get to the point where the building is actually being closed. One thing I will say as an aside here, and it's actually really important, is to be reminded that the church is not the building. They can shut down the buildings, but they really can't shut down the church. And I'm sure that the people of Grace Life are going to continue to worship the Lord and find ways to meet together. And as Dr. James White mentioned, it may even be possible for other churches to offer them space to meet. We'll see what happens with that, but I did want to share this information with you, this news story, and I know for a lot of people it will be really troubling and even angering. I do encourage you to have good, edifying conversation in the comment section. It actually really helps these videos to spread more when you comment on these videos, so I appreciate your likes and comments on the videos. Also, make sure you share about this channel with others, share videos with others, so you can get the word out about what I'm doing. But thank you so much for taking some time to listen to this report brought to you from A Frisch Perspective.